listening to We Watch Movies.
I'm Ava.
And I'm Jenna.
And we watch movies. So this week, we watched Ava. And it was a time. Jenna, what were your thoughts?
It was interesting. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, but like, not that much.
Okay.
Okay, after saying that, it sounds like I really did like this movie, but like, I did like it. Like, I don't think I would watch it again, but like, for what it was fine.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, the whole time it was like, particularly at the beginning, it just made me contemplate how weird names are. Because, okay, you know how, like, when somebody says your name, it, like, triggers something in your brain, right? And you, like, are like, oh my god, somebody's saying my name, right? And it, like, stands out more than any other word. Like, you could be, like, in a crowded room and something, and, like, everything kind of muddles into nothing, but then you'll hear your name and it'll, like, stick out to you.
Yeah, like, you're just conditioned to recognize that as yourself.
Yeah, and so every time that they were like, Ava! Ava! It, like, made my brain, like, wake up for a second. And I was like, hang on.
Yeah, no, whenever someone uses the word generally, like, my heart, like, jumps. Because I'm like, wait a minute, are you talking to me? And anyway, if you couldn't tell, I totally like conversation. But I can see why that would make for a weird movie experience.
No, but it's kind of... I was thinking about, while I was watching this movie, there were, I think, one of these years in high school, I counted with another Ava who's in our grade, I counted how many Avas were actually in our school, and I think we hit double digits. Which, I mean, that's fun. And so it's weird because Ava is such a common name for me. Like, I have never been, since, like, 3rd grade, I haven't been the only Ava in my class. Like, I've never been, like, just Ava. You know, it's always, like, Ava, last initial, for, like, everybody. But you never, like, I've really rarely seen, like, characters in movies and stuff named Ava, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no, like, I'm really trying to think of, like, the last book I read or whatever, with, like, a character's name being Ava, but, like, it's just not there, boss.
I might have seen a couple, like, side characters named Ava, but, like, most of the time they had, like, the E, which I count as a different name, but I also count as a cooler name.
Well, that's, like, Eva, or, like, Eva.
Well, okay, but there are, like, sometimes in European spellings it's pronounced Ava with the E in front of it, and I think that's way cooler than AVA, but, like, whatever.
Well, okay, but if you have people who are named AVA, you don't know if it's AVA forward or AVA backwards. I can't believe I just said that out loud.
No, there was... Okay, the palindrome nature of my name is a running joke. Once upon a time, I had to, like, come up with a band name for myself for a thing, and it was Ava and the Palindromes, and I think that's a pretty... a pretty great...
You play all of the songs in your set list, but then in the middle, you go back and you play all of the songs in perfect reverse.
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. That's exactly how it goes. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe we should, like, actually talk about the movie now.
I don't know, that might be kind of overrated.
Okay, so this is Ava. It came out, I think, on Monday on Netflix. Starring Jessica Chastain as Ava, and then a bunch of other people that I did not recognize. I don't know why I didn't recognize any of them. But yeah, so it's an action movie about an assassin who kills people.
Oh, yes. I really needed that to be enlightened for me.
Jack, can you take over?
Yeah. So we have this assassin lady who is named Ava, and she has a bit of a checkered past regarding her family and past substance abuse, and she's really thrown herself into the assassinating job that she has. So the movie picks up with her after she has just been on a job, and for whatever reason, she decides to go home, and she's kind of thrown back into her family life again, and the results of her past, along with the path that she has chosen to take now. And that's Ava.
We're covering a lot of assassinations on this channel.
That's not a bad thing.
Okay, well actually we just kind of go off of the most relevant, like, new releases on Netflix at the moment, so it's kind of Netflix's problem right now. But, okay, so the lovely Jessica Chastain starred in it, as I said. If you don't know her, she was in It Chapter 2, and I think a bunch of other things. But I know her from It Chapter 2, and probably a lot of people know her from It Chapter 2. She's pretty cool person. I'm sorry, I'm in like a laughy mood right now. Okay, so this movie, it got like it got an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I hate like bringing up. I don't like bringing up Rotten Tomatoes in every single. Or no, I guess I do like it because I bring it up in every single podcast. I mean, I don't think that Rotten Tomatoes is the end all be all of like.
It's not.
Rate of how well a movie, or how good a movie is. But generally, like, a lot of times it's pretty accurate. It's a good way of, like, convincing people to watch the movie that you want to watch. Like, you could be like, oh my gosh, this movie's so good, and guess what? Rotten Tomatoes gave it, like, a 98%. But if you think a movie's really good and they give you a bad rating, then they're like, we should go see this movie. And then they're like, what's the Rotten Tomatoes score? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but that's a thing that happens.
No, and I get that too, because, like, I like looking at it because, like, you can generally get, like, a good basis of, like, is this a movie that's, like, fundamentally good, or is it, like, a movie that, like, is in the middle, or is it, like, is it a movie that's kind of bad, but I can still enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's good to at least see, because sometimes you can't tell when you're, like, watching a trailer or trying to decide if you want to watch something. But I cannot believe this got, like, an 18. Like, normally I'm good at guessing. I thought this got, like, a 50, maybe a 60 if I was feeling generous.
I think it was really good. Well, not, like, super good, but I think the problem with Rotten Tomatoes is a lot of times reviewers get, like, kind of pretentious about, like, movies, because like, you have to spend, like, an entire article talking about one movie, so you gotta go kind of in depth, and then at that point you start talking about, like, the deep connotations of and stuff, and, like, the in-depth things, which I guess is what we do sometimes. But like, I feel like sometimes they take, like, they don't consider just like I don't know what the word would be, just mindless entertainment, I guess. Like, if you like watching kick butt women, and you like action movies and stuff, and you like people getting beat up, and you don't mind, like, guns and stuff and murder, this would be a good, like, source of mindless entertainment. If you like Black Widow, but you don't like the sort of, like, superhero aspect of her, this is probably a good movie for you. If you like organized crime, this is probably a good movie for you. It might not be, like, I don't know, The Godfather or something, if you're into organized crime, but, yeah, I mean,
something.
Yeah, it's something, and I think it does its job. it just doesn't, like, say anything profound, and, like, she's not, like, I mean, the whole, like, girl gone bad, now she's a super kick-butt murderer kind of person, that character's been done. So that's the only thing I think that was kind, like, it's not like the most original work of art, I guess, and that might have counted against its score.
Yeah, they did not bring any nuance to the story they were telling, and it kind of felt very trite, and, like, as you said, like, the type of main character they used has, like, been done many times, and there are definitely, like, ways that you could explore different elements of that type of character model, but this movie didn't really seem to be heavily focused on, like, trying to say anything new or exceptional. It was kind of just a run-of-the-mill action movie that probably does not deserve an 18%, but it also was not, like, something, like, awe-inspiring, spectacular, must-watch movie.
There was a part, like, a little bit into it, spoilers if you haven't watched it, where, you know when she's being, like, hunted by that guy in the park, and she's, like, running, and then he, like, starts, like, chasing her with a knife and something's gonna kill her or whatever?
Yeah.
That was the part in the movie where I just thought to myself, you know what would make this movie perfect? If this movie changed right now to be the prequel to Spy Kids. Because their parents were super spies, and, you know, you got the ginger, and then you got the brunette guy, and they were, like, super spies, and their assignment was each other. Oh my god, that would be a 100% Rotten Tomatoes, and you can't fight me on that.
We do need more movies like that. We do.
Hang on,
what petition to make more assassin / spies falling in love enemies to lovers movies. Do it.
Rotten Tomatoes, like, what did you say, sir, about Spy Kids 1? Let's see.
It probably got like a
93. Listen, Ava, if you wanted to make your movie have a higher Rotten Tomatoes score, that was where you went wrong. You were so close to being the best prequel on the face of the planet, and you just missed that mark, okay? And that's the problem. I think I solved this movie. I fixed it.
Facts and logic, you solved it with science. I cannot believe that the first Spy Kids movie has a 93.
Okay, let's just, like, look at the whole franchise. What did Spy Kids 2 get?
Like, I mean, those movies weren't bad, at least as, like, a child.
Spy Kids 2 got a 75.
Okay.
Spy Kids 3 got a 45. Okay, it's kinda going downhill now. Spy Kids 4 got a 22. But hang on, those aren't even the original kids. That's why it did so badly. Okay, I'm sorry. But even like the fourth sequel of Spy Kids, where they're not even Junie and Carmen, you know, that got a higher score than Ava. Go home, Rotten Tomatoes, you're drunk.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I did like, I thought that actually added to the movie this time, was the music, as opposed to the other movie that we watched last time. And so, designated soundtrack nerd, would you please tell us your thoughts?
Yeah, no, like, this time I felt like it really, like, added, like, technically it did add to the mood of the second, but it didn't help the movie. And, like, I think, like, in this movie, it definitely added to, like, the atmosphere and, like, kind of the things we were supposed to be feeling in a beneficial way. And like it just fit the vibe. I don't know. This is like the most unprofessional way to talk about this.
It something that I noticed that it did do, or it did not do, that the second did with its soundtrack, was kind of like snap you out of the scene. Because I feel like a good soundtrack should like be super awesome, but like part of you shouldn't notice it, if that makes sense. Like it should like kind of play off of the emotions in the scene so well that it just kind of feels like the soundtrack of the universe is playing, not really the scene. I don't know if this makes any sense, but I hope it does. But with the second, they would come out with these really random like rock songs or whatever, these like angsty punk songs, and they would just kind of like be like, hey, this is the soundtrack. And it would like kind of remind you that you're watching a movie, and it's kind of like, you know?
Yeah, and going off of what you said, like a soundtrack should definitely like blend in and just like be a part of like the movie and the plot so much that you barely notice it. But I feel like a score should also like still be memorable, and like as you think back to the movie, you still kind of remember parts of it, or at least like the main themes and like leitmotifs in it, because they've become such a large part of the movie that in a way they should kind of just be inseparable.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess, so it's kind of like when you think of like, I don't know if this is probably going to be a really bad analogy and I haven't fully thought it through, but I'm going to say it anyways. It's kind of like with the actors, how, you know, like their acting is supposed to be really good and really memorable, and like their performance is supposed to be awesome, but you're not supposed to notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I can tell that you're acting, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. And they're like I think they were like, so there were a couple of characters in this movie that I didn't especially appreciate their performance. And so I think that for me was Duke and Michael, and possibly the daughter of Simon, I think. There was something, specifically Michael and a little bit of Duke, but like these side characters, there was like something weird about the way that they would like say their lines or just like speak. And I don't know if that's just like how they talk as normal human beings, and I'm just like being a really weird person and thinking that they sound weird. Which if that's the case, I'm sorry. But it sounded like they were delivering their lines in like a weird way, and I wasn't really sure what was going on there.
Yeah, like Michael was the guy that Ava was going to marry, but then she left and he wound up marrying Jude, right?
Jude?
Is that Michael?
Judy's her sister.
Judy. Yeah.
She didn't marry her sister.
No, Michael.
Oh!
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
You said, he is the person that Ava was gonna marry, but then she married Jude.
Okay, I very well maybe accidentally said that. I don't actually know. But
yeah, no, he's affianced to Ava's sister. In the scenes in the movie.
Yeah, because like I don't want to be mean, but like, yeah, I don't think he did a good job.
You know who was super irrelevant to the story? And like the whole this whole subplot that was super irrelevant?
I know what you're gonna say, but you can say it.
Tony and her secret club.
Okay, I agree, but this was also a highlight of the movie for me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, I disliked her. I feel like the movie would have been so much more interesting if the movie was about her.
Yeah, I think...
Or like we set it up that like this lady is the true villain of the movie.
The porta potty entrance was cool.
Yes.
I don't know. The secret club stuff has been like done so much, and like, you know, the the sweet little lady, sometimes, like, very frequently this trope is Asian, I don't know why, who has, like, this secret,
I don't know why that is.
Who has this secret, like, drug ring and, like, cartel, and is, like, running gambling on the side in her secret club, and is, like, organizing crime. I don't know what's going on with that trope. I don't know what kind of, like, racially based stereotype that is. I just don't like it. Oh my god. Ava from WWM Productions says that she doesn't like racism.
A hot take indeed.
I don't know. It just all that's just like a sort of thing that just doesn't sit well with me, and it's not like I don't find it. I don't see the point. I don't understand why it's always like it's either like an old Italian man or like a small Asian woman, and I don't know why. And I don't know. Well, I know that the Italian thing is based off of the mafia or whatever, but like it's just weird. Like, can somebody else run the drug cartel?
If we're on the topic of this, and like you can cut me off and disagree because like I don't know if I'm just seeing things, but do you find it odd how like whenever you have like a strong or just like really leading female character in a TV show or movie, like, and almost the shorthand for them hitting like rock bottom is like substance abuse, being like sad and isolated. Like, is that just something that like I'm seeing? Because I feel like that happens way more with women than men.
I feel like that just happens a lot with like assassin characters. But the only thing is that men much more frequently have another tropey like backstory where they like left their wife or something. You know, because I feel like a lot of times alcoholism is just kind of glossed over with hardened male characters.
Yeah, because I feel like it's much more common to like see a shot of a male character like sitting at a bar somewhere drinking for indefinite amounts of time. I don't know. I'm not trying to go on a rant here. I just had thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But one thing that is typical of like a strong female character in like an action movie that they didn't do, which I very much appreciated, or they might have done and I just didn't notice because I was kind of hoping that they would do it, is they didn't have like a bunch of those like weird butt shots or like those like times where they filmed them from below or something, or like they like pan their whole body or something. Like, what I'm trying to say is they didn't overly sexualize her, which I liked.
Yeah. Like, there was that one part where she had to, like, her job sexualized her, but not, like, the movie itself.
Yeah, because she had to, like, flirt with the guy or whatever.
Yeah, and I appreciated that, how they didn't say, like, oh, we're making a movie about a female assassin, so we gotta do some things differently here. It just felt like that was kind of, like, a non-issue.
But then there was like there was a kind of tropey little girl there. I guess according to the cast, her name is Camille, but she was Simon's daughter. She was like, she looked like the kind. This character was the kind of person who would volunteer for the Hunger Games. Hunger Games. I'm sorry, I can't speak today. But yeah, so she was like frowning all the time because she was like a super cool assassin daughter, me, she has a gun, but she like doesn't say anything interesting the entire time, and all she does is like scowl and want to be like Wednesday Addams, but like a murderer.
Yeah, and I mean, I would have preferred to see her character do more things because she was kind of just like furnishing in this movie. It didn't really have any purpose until like the last shot when she's trying to avenge her father, which, in my opinion, would have been a much more interesting movie, because you have this one girl trying to avenge her father, who was not really a good man, and she's trying to avenge her father's killer, who is someone who has been running from the ghost of her father for years, and who had a surrogate father, and, like, I don't know, I feel like that would be a much more interesting movie than the movie we actually watched.
Daddy Issues, the movie. I feel like every movie, regardless of, like, how relevant/irrelevant it is today, they try to make it, like, lately they've been trying to make it open for a sequel. Like, everything. So they're like, if this does well, we can make it a sequel. And I mean, that makes sense, theoretically. Because, like, they try to make it, like, an ending that, like, they're like, oh, just an ambiguous ending, but, like, they actually want to be able to have a sequel or something. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Because, like, if something makes bank, you want to make more bank. Which, I mean, if I were, like, a big movie executive, I would be like, yeah, let's, like, leave the door open for a sequel. Why not? But, like, at least this ending wasn't as blatant as the second. Like, how stupid and obnoxiously sequel prompting that ending was.
Yeah. So, that kind of leads into a point I wanted to make. Because when the movie opened, I was like, this seems familiar, so I looked it up, and the second is a movie that was made by Voltage Pictures. And Ava is also a movie that was made by Voltage Pictures, and it also shares the company of After and After We Collided.
Hardin, do you have something that you want to tell us? Oh my gosh, okay. But this was
Sorry,
also, like...
I wanted to put that out there.
Well, this is also, like, partially produced by Jessica Chastain, which is another thing that I noticed about the second. The guy who played the main character was also one of the producers. So, that's interesting. Another thing that I'm noticing right now as I'm looking at the cast list is that the guy who played Michael is literally just named Common. I don't know if that's, like, I don't know if it's, like, a one name kind of thing, or if it's, like, a typo. But yeah, his name is Common. That's it.
That's...
Yeah, it's a name, apparently.
It's the name is common, but that's pretty uncommon.
Jenna.
I'm so sorry. What am I doing? What am I contributing here?
Excuse me. What this just not to beat over a dead horse, but film theory. When are you gonna take me out of this place?
Yes, rescue Ava, please. This is all we're trying to do here.
Oh my god. You know, I was thinking about this. Our first time that we did the podcast, our first episode. Now we're 10 episodes in. Okay, we've done this for 10 weeks. And so the first time we did one of these, it was Enola Holmes. You should go watch that podcast. We are deliciously awkward the entire time. Because I feel like both of us didn't know how to, like, speak at all. Like, that's just, like, we just didn't know how to talk like humans. Or at least I didn't. I don't know about and that might have been throwing you off.
No, that's just the usual for me, boss.
Okay. But, like, the whole time we're, like, so awkward and we, like, don't laugh. Or we kind of laugh a couple times, but, like, we're just kind of chilling, and we didn't really know what we were doing, because we were just like, oh, let's just, like, make a podcast, and Jenna was like, okay. And then now it's, like, literally, we've maybe spent, like, 5 minutes actually talking about the movie, and then, like, another 5 minutes just with pure laughter, and then the rest are just, like, random tangents, which I think is how this podcast is, like, gonna end up in the future.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it's a great thing. If you guys like listening to us go on random tangents and laugh a lot, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll make sure to go on more random tangents. Back to
the word tangent is really setting me off right now because of physics.
Oh. The word tangent is really setting me off right now because of trig.
Oh.
Okay, but back to the movie thing. I wanted to see her wear more wigs. I don't know why. I wanted
Me too!
Because she, like, at the beginning, she's like, I need more wigs. and she had that one blonde one, and then she had the long brunette one. And I just wanted to see her go undercover more. Because I know the rest of it, like, she was, like, at home and she wasn't doing jobs or anything. But, like, I wanted to see her undercover doing, like, spy stuff more. Because, like, the rest of the time it was, like, her improving because she was, like, caught off guard or whatever. You know, but the coolest thing about her is that she's, like, this highly trained secret agent who can, like, infiltrate big corporations or I don't know. That might just be, like, Natasha Romanoff that I'm thinking about right now. But I wanted to see her go in disguise more, and she didn't, and it was disappointing.
Yeah, no, because those were always, like, really cool, and you got to see that, like, how good she was at, like, her job, and, like, yeah, like, the opening of the movie is really cool, especially when you add in the fact that you don't know what's going on with the daughter yet and why they're spying on her, which was really cool and added, like, a level of intrigue, but then they kind of dropped that whole plot, which was sad. But, and then there was also the one where she was in Germany, I think, and that was pretty cool, although the smoke effects looked pretty bad, but otherwise it was pretty cool. So I wish they did put her out in the field more, and I don't know, you can smite me for this, but probably could have focused less on, like, the family drama aspects, or just the whole gambling den.
That was so dumb! It was so irrelevant! We didn't need it! Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It didn't add anything.
She didn't-
And, like, they didn't do anything with, like, Michael being, like, a will they, won't they. Like, they almost, like, cheat, which is,
Okay,
like,
people, listen up. Not every strong female protagonist needs a love interest. And that's coming from me. I am a strong supporter and, like, very avid watcher of, like, really random romance stories that are kind of dumb. And I thoroughly enjoy that. I like the gushy stuff, okay? But don't shoehorn it in to just, like, any story, like, ever. Like, it's just kind of dumb and we don't need it. Like, you can't have a character that's supposed to be a strong, independent woman and then, like, give her a love interest and be like, independent, you say?
Yeah, and just, even when they did, quote-unquote, try, like, the two characters really had no chemistry, and, like, this guy is, like, married, or, like, about to be married to this other person who is her sister. Like, did anyone find it weird that he literally dates one sister, gets dumped by her, and then marries the other sister? Like, does this not seem a little weird?
Who is going to... I could never imagine even just dating somebody, but he, like, got engaged to Ava. But I can never imagine, like, dating somebody. I can't imagine dating somebody. But, like, if I did, I could never, I feel like that's just kind of, like, you automatically sort of get, like, a sibling-ish bond with their sibling. Or, like, just a friendly bond. You don't get, like, I've never understood how people can be attracted to their significant other sibling, especially because there's usually an age difference, but that's probably just, like, that's mostly a high school thing where the age difference is super huge or whatever. But, like, also, I mean, you're gonna be listening to your significant other talk all the time about, oh my god, my sister, like, farted on my pillow the other day. Because they're not gonna be like, oh my god, I farted on my own pillow. they're gonna talk bad about their siblings all day because they need somebody to talk bad about their siblings to, because they talk bad about everybody else to their siblings. And so, like, automatically, it just, I could never, like, the same thing with, like, my friends. If I'm, like, really close with my friends, their siblings kind of end up feeling like my siblings-ish. And so I could never, like, I don't know, I would never feel, like, romantically attracted like that. But also, I'm talking with very little experience on the matter. But it just seems weird.
Yeah. Like, it just, the whole romance in this movie was just doomed, and then they kind of just drop it at the end, and they're really uninterested in it, and it's like, so what was the point? There was 0 point is the answer.
You know how Michael's deal is, he with that secret club or whatever has like a bunch of debt, and then Ava needs to help him. Here's my suggestion for this movie. Get rid of Michael. We don't need him. Why is he here? Why is he relevant to the story? Okay, like, I know, like, I heard about, like, you know, killing your darlings or whatever. Like, I don't know how Michael could be your darling, but, like, murder him. Like, he doesn't need to be there. We don't need him. I mean, no hate to, Common, but, or Joan Chen, who played Tony. We just don't need you guys. You didn't need to be in this movie.
Your irrelevant.
You're just irrelevant. Not people. I'm sure you're wonderful people in real life, but you're kind of irrelevant in this movie.
I feel kind of bad because those are, like, as far as I can remember, those were the only 2 characters that were not white. Which, now that I've had that thought, I kind of wish I didn't have that thought.
Okay, but that just kind of makes me more mad because they couldn't bring themselves to give a main character or a relevant character any racial representation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they definitely had, like, an Irish person, but still white. Like, why couldn't Simon and Camille be, like, I don't know, something that's not white? I feel really mean today. I'm in a mean mood.
I think that's okay. So, do you remember how last week we had the gay liverist discussion?
Yes.
Regarding family members?
Mm-hmm.
So, happened to me this week because when... I almost forgot Ava's name for a second. When Ava goes to see her sister performing and, like, goes to meet up with her, the way they introduced that, I really thought that Jude was an ex at first, and I got really excited. And then I found out they were sisters, and I was like, you did not introduce that well. I thought there was something going on there.
Okay, honestly, Ava and her mom look related. Ava and her sister do not.
No.
I'm like, I don't know, like, why they couldn't find it's okay. Ava and her mom look similar because of their cheekbones. Like, I'll just say it right now, it's because of their cheekbones. And Judy, or it's because of their cheekbones and their jawline, and Judy has a very different bone structure. Which, like, I mean, I don't think it would be that difficult in, like, Hollywood to find a 20, 30-something woman with a pronounced jawline and pronounced cheekbones. Like, I mean, it's Hollywood. It just kind of felt sloppy. I mean, if you look at the girl who played Simon's daughter, looks more related to Judy than Judy does to Ava, to be honest.
That is a true fact.
Me just spitting facts today.
Dropping all the hot takes.
Absolutely. I mean, when do I not?
That you don't like racism. Now this, like...
Ava doesn't like racism. Ava thinks that there are pretty girls in Hollywood.
I guess we should probably talk about the fight scenes, since this was an action movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it was kind of realistic how, in that last one, how they just kind of, like, got tired and they're like, I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna sit on this chair real quick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit down. You're gonna shoot me, right? That's how this goes.
Okay, but the last, I think that the most well done, like, fight scene, I don't know if it's even a fight scene, but like when she was just walking after him at the end, it kind of reminded me of It Follows. I don't know if you've seen that. If you haven't, I'm just gonna say homework right now. But it kind of reminded me of It Follows, and I thought it was really well done in that part, because it's like broad daylight and she's just walking because she like can't be bothered to run, and and it was just like that part was good. I liked that last bit.
Yeah, no, like, the ending of this movie was actually pretty strong. Like, kind of dipped in the middle there.
It started strong and ended strong.
Subplots. Yeah, it was bookended, which was good, because at least you can end on a high note and make me convinced that I liked this movie more than I did. At least. So you have that going for you. But, like, I don't know, I feel like it needed more time in the oven to really figure out what it wanted to say and, like, what storylines they actually wanted and needed, because I feel like a lot of the things they had in this movie should not have been in this movie.
There's a lot of times when I'm watching movies, specifically action movies, because I feel like they're probably the most fun to do. When I start thinking about the Foley artists, and I get like so tuned into just the sounds and like how they're making it. So like what in the fight scenes, I was just imagining this guy in like a warehouse somewhere, like snapping spaghetti and like whipping his little baton around and like throwing pieces of wood at the floor. Because like that's what they do, and it looks like really fun, and I kind of want to do it.
Well, if we make short films, we'll need to do some sound design, Ava.
Oh my gosh, yes. I kind of want to make a depressing Christmas Hallmark movie. Because, like, I mean, we're all depressed, so why not make everything else depressing anyways? I think it's perfect.
I'd watch it. Wait, so you say that made me remember. Have you heard about this, like, recipe for seduction thing that's happening? The Lifetime movie?
No.
I recommend you Google it after we finish this.
I will Google it. Oh my god, okay. I did not watch the trailer for this movie, but it does have a trailer, and that leads me to segue into, I watched a trailer that came up in my Instagram recently for a movie called All My Life, which, I mean, it looks very cheesy, very gushy, very like Fault in Our Stars, but like I still want to watch it because I like cheesy and gushy, and I'll admit it, it's my guilty pleasure. And it was like all the comments were like, gee, thanks for showing us the entire movie in like 2 minutes long, because like it was like you could tell the entire plot from just the trailer, and I feel like that'd be like kind of a cool thing to do, like make a movie and tell a complete story, but just like in a trailer format.
That's interesting.
Like, because I used to do stuff like that on iMovie, because you know how it has, like, the trailer option?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to spend so much time with, like, my sister and, like, our family friends or whatever, and we would, like, go around the house and, like, make trailers of movies that would never be created. And it was, like, so much fun. I'm not, like, it was just, like, a lot of fun. And you know, you could tell, like, the whole story from just the trailer, because we didn't care about making something that would just, like, you know, whet the appetite. We wanted something that would just, like, because there were movies that were never going to be made, and so we just kind of, like, had fun with it, and I don't know. Yeah, it was very fun, and it's a really fun thing to do. Okay, this is fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, when I was younger, me, my brother, and my cousin, whenever we would be together for family functions, because it would generally be us three, we would, like, make movies, and I feel like it would be funny for, like, if we're still doing this after a year and you haven't been rescued by Film Theory, we should, like, maybe, like, post old videos that we've made from our child. Is that a bad idea?
Yes.
Are you going to have to delete that audio?
I'm not deleting it, but it is a bad idea.
Okay.
Because, you see, I'm a cringy human being now. But me, in, like, 5th grade and younger, was even cringier. Like, until, like, kindergarten, I was cringy. When I decided to chop all my hair off, and, like, with safety scissors in my bedroom, and I went chin length with bangs for, like, years, that was the cringy part. Actually, no, I was cringy from freshman year earlier. No, I'm still cringy. Wait, I was just, like, really cringy then. And, yeah, so it was, like, little me looking like Lord Farquaad or whatever, and, and it was cringy, and it was a time, and I don't think that that person should, go onto YouTube ever. Actually, no, I'm on YouTube. Don't.
Ava, I am the king of cringe. I don't know. I don't know who wins this battle, but just...
Little,
I have some notebooks here that deserve to be burned, to say the least.
Lord Farquaad Ava has many a YouTube video on her mother's YouTube channel, and I will not tell anybody what YouTube channel that is, but they exist. And, yeah, so that's a thing that should be buried, and those videos should never be watched. There are many a cursed video of young Ava that should... They'll curse you. It'll be like The Ring. And, you'll have to, like, do the whole, like, make a copy, show it to somebody else thing, or you're gonna, like, die in 7 days. Like, yeah, you watch one of my old home videos, and then you get the phone call, it's like... 7 days. No, I was trying to think of something more creative, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, where there might be something really cringy, but, like, nah, I've kind of kept it under wraps. Like, if you break into my house and you find some of these notebooks, I might have to disappear you. And there might be a video from freshman year that I made of me interviewing a stuffed animal crocodile for a Latin project, which is highly unfortunate, but I still have it for some reason. So,
I have a stop motion video for a Latin project.
That video slapped.
I was so proud of that, because, okay, I didn't realize how long that video was gonna take. Okay, stop motion animators, how do you do it? Because I did whiteboard stop motion for my Latin project in freshman year. It was like a 3-minute video or something. It's called Pliny the Vlogger. It was about Pliny the Elder. And it was about Pliny the Elder vlogging his adventures with a hedgehog, learning that they don't, like, pee on themselves and dissolve their spines or whatever. I had chosen that format as my project format early on in the semester, because it was, like, our whole semester grade. And then I actually sat down to do it, like, one weekend before it was, like, actually due. And it took me, like, 2 days and, like, 8 hours and, like, for these, like, 2 minutes. But no, it was pretty great. I'm pretty proud of that.
It was such a good video.
I was gonna make him his own YouTube channel and make a bunch of those, but I just didn't have the patience to spend 8 hours on, like, a bunch of other episodes of Pliny the Vlogger.
I can see that.
I mean, if anybody out there is, like, a good, fast whiteboard artist and, wants to join the channel, for no pay, and because we're poor, and you want to make Pliny the Vlogger episodes, let us know.
It's free real estate.
Oh god. But that was like my crowning achievement, right? Because our teacher gave me like extra points for coolness. And like the other people in our class were so mad about it because it was like 2 of us that did like really cool projects, but everybody worked really hard on their projects, but like one person did like this cool book thing, and then I did the stop motion, and our teacher gave us like 105s, and everybody was so pissed off.
And I felt really bad because like I got extra points too for mine, and I had asked a friend who was also in the class to help me with it because I needed someone to voice this character, and I accidentally deleted the whole project the day before it was due, and I had to re-record it like that one episode of Good Luck Charlie. Not going to talk about that. That was traumatic. But anyway, I felt really bad because like I got extra points on the project and she didn't. But like I just felt bad because I was like, I'm sorry I dragged you into this whole mess, but like you did agree to it.
Oh my gosh, but it's like
God.
there was because we had another project recently too. I don't like how she does that. Teachers don't like, I mean sometimes it's deserved, but like don't give over 100 grades because you think somebody's project is cooler than another one.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Wait, she doesn't listen to this, right? I think she pretends to.
Yeah, I mean, well, even if you are listening, we're not like saying anything bad about you, even as a teacher. We're just saying, like, as a student who has been on both the receiving end of both extra points and seeing someone else get extra points, just don't do that. It doesn't accomplish the things that you think it does, and it just creates emotions in teenagers that no one needs. Feelings of inferiority are never great, and the public education system has many flaws in the United States, but don't add that kind of pressure and insignificance to people. Just don't do it.
Well, unlike Jenna, I think that you are perfect in every way and you should keep giving me extra points.
I mean, like, I will accept them because what else will I do? What?
I once got like praised for my honesty or whatever in like 8th grade because I told my social studies teacher. No, it was my reading teacher. I don't know. Or no, it was humanities because they were together for some reason. And and we had this, you know, those Newsella things that we had to do where they were like 4 questions.
See, I didn't really have to do any of those, but I know.
Oh, okay.
About them. I know. I know you're suffering.
But like, there were these 4-question things. We would read an article and answer 4 questions, and she would give you the grade that you got on that. So if you got like 2 wrong, you'd get an F on it, and if you got 1 wrong, you'd get a C on it, and if you got 3 wrong, you'd get like a 20. But there was this one time when I got like 1 or 2 wrong or something on it, and she put it in as a 4 out of 4, and I was like, so I went to her the next day. I was like, you put my grade in wrong. You gave me a 100 when I actually got like a C on this. And then she was like, well, you know what? That was very honest of you, and I'm not gonna change it. And then she gave me one of those like honesty card things.
So like our school, we went to the same school at this time, but like it was divided by 2 things,
which is so stupid, by the way.
Experiment.
It's like so dumb.
Yeah, it was so weird. But like my side of the school like never handed those bad boys out ever. Like I don't know when people got those, but like no one ever got those. Maybe because our side of the school was just not good, but I digress.
I don't know, it was like, that was just really stupid, okay, because then, at this point, so they were called Red Team and Green Team, right? And, Green Team had different standards than Red Team, in terms of just, like, how the teachers would talk to you, or how they would, like, quote-unquote prepare you for high school or whatever. And, like, the different workloads they would give you, and, like, different stuff. And so what ended up happening was they ended up with two very different groups of kids who, like, interacted very differently, like, with other people, and who treated work very differently, and, and viewed education very differently. And all it really did for, in terms of high school, is, like, make a social divide, you know, like, because, and it was, like, just, so there, at this point, there are people in Red Team that I just, like, I've never spoken to them, but I just, like, subconsciously don't like them because of that, and I think it's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
Like, if you look at the makeup of some of, like, the classes, and you, like, have, like, a list, like, these people were in Red Team, these people were in Green Team, like, there's a very clear bias towards one group, not because, like, anyone, like, decided, like, this group has more people in this class. It's more so, like, this is the work ethic of one group, this is the work ethic of another, and there's a pretty clear divide in there, and it's kind of crazy. And I agree with the thing you said, and, like, if anyone who's listening to this, I'm not saying anything bad, but, like, there is a social thing, and, like, sometimes, like, I've gone to school with these people, like, all of my life, and even then they don't want to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there is reason why no one wants to reach out to you. I don't know, but it just created, like, this weird segregated school society that to this day I don't really understand still.
Yeah, because it's not like they keep you separated or anything. Like, in high school, you're just together. But I digress, because that was really random and off topic, and I apologize. So if you actually listened to this far, and you listened through our little rant, we appreciate you. We very much do. And we would like you to reciprocate our appreciation by leaving a like and subscribing and commenting which team you like better. Do you like Green Team or Red Team? If you comment Green Team, you think I'm cooler. And if you comment Red Team, you think Jenna's cooler. And what was the other one? It was like Purple Team, and that was like music and
yeah, and then there was Blue Team, because we had to separate Red Team and Blue Team, because there was one side of the school that was both grades, they were all Green Team. Then the other side of the school, they were separated, and we weren't crammed into one single hallway. So I think clearly there is one team that's better here.
Well, if you comment Blue Team, you're really just ew. And then there was Purple Team that was related arts, and they only called it Purple Team because the teachers wanted a team. And so if you comment, if you comment Purple Team, you are elite and amazing, and that's the correct choice, but we don't want to admit it. Anyways, we appreciate you, like I said, and we hope you enjoyed. And go watch Jenna's video, she posted on Sunday, and then watch my video that's gonna come out on Sunday. And yeah. Okay, bye!
Thanks for watching.